tell us what Invoice Finance is, and if you can explain also how it actually works, because not many people really understand it.
Invoice Finance is about funding, as it says, invoices, but it has to be in our sector for B2B companies. We don't fund B2C. So for a lot of people, it will be when you're looking at your balance sheet and you're looking at what assets you have within that. Predominantly, people will look at things like any sort of plant machinery they may have. They will look at other things within that. And often they won't look at the debtor book because they don't perceive that as being an asset that they can fund. I think people don't realise that actually their invoices, they can generate cash from those. So funding invoices, by the way we do it, actually generates money against those. So we're looking at funding those prior to the debtors paying for them. So for example, if you raised an invoice today, you might wait 30, 60, 90 days to get that paid. What we're saying is you could give that invoice to us and we will make a prepayment against it, and effectively you can have the money today and utilise that money for whatever you need it for, rather than waiting for your clients to pay. I think the key thing between Invoice Finance and things like an overdraft, if you think an overdraft is a set lump of cash, so it doesn't move. So you'll go to the bank and the bank will say, okay, you can have, say, £50,000, for example. What happens if your business is growing and you start to hit your head against that 50,000? It's not taking into account the growth within your business. It's not seeing what you're doing in terms of increase in sales, etc. Whereas what our facility is doing is saying, actually, okay, your sales are here, but your sales are doing that. And what we're saying is our facility does that with you. So it mirrors your growth. Whereas things like, say, overdraft is a set lump of cash. And also what a lot of people will do is they'll go, okay, well, I'll go and get a loan. Loan is a very simple thing to do. I'll go and get a loan. I'll go to the bank. I'll go somewhere and get a loan. Well, loans are great at the start because fantastic, I've got that lump of cash there. But what happens when your growth is going up and your loan is doing, well, what's it doing? It's going down. So the gap between the two is actually getting bigger because your loan reduces, but your cash requirement is increasing because your growth is increasing. So none of the facilities like an overdraft or a loan track growth. They're going down, whereas our facility goes up.
So with the mechanism of it, some people see it as robbing Peter to pay Paul. You know, your money's coming in at some point, but you're then using it early. What are the typical cases? Where would you see it being used? What's the beneficial use of?
All sorts of things. It really is. I mean, you know, we don't say you have to use the money for this mechanism. It's not like that. It's basically using that cash better, if you like, because you know you're going to get it. But if I can get it now, I can use that for maybe things like discounts with my suppliers. You know, I can pay my wages quicker. I can, you know, pay my bills quicker. I can get on better terms with my actual suppliers.
Just enhances your cash flow, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doesn't it?
It makes your cash flow more level than sort of, you know, those peaks and troughs that might happen. And, you know, when you're sitting there waiting for your cash to come in and you want to, you know, go on and do something and actually grow the business, you're constantly waiting for that money to, you know, to start the next thing you're wanting to do. Whereas what we're saying is that cash is there, use it for whatever you need to use it for, because, you know, it's your money. You're just accessing it quicker.